I want to bring back Christine Tan of Sunlife's SLGI Asset Management for her perspective on all of this. And I guess when it comes to Canada's economy, everybody's got a different opinion, but Canadians generally are having a challenging time right now. The same kind of things that seem to be coming up in the rhetoric we're hearing in the United States right now. How would you characterize what you're seeing for Canada's economy right now?
I think the way you positioned it is perfect. It's when you look at the Bank of Canada's consumer expectation surveys, really starting Q3 last year, Canadians have been saying we're struggling. We're having a tough time with high interest costs. We're also having a tough time with high prices of everything, our basics. And because of that, we're having to make tough choices. And we continue to see that in this most recent CES that came out actually this week. And you know, in the meantime, you might say that GDP growth is still positive, but remember, we had a pretty significant growth in population. GDP per capita has been shrinking for several quarters now. So it is tough. And that's part of the reason why the Bank of Canada did cut in June, even though it wasn't necessarily the strongest consensus at that point in time.
And obviously, everybody would ideally see what's described as a soft landing, but you know, our unemployment rate has been rising, and it's not just the central bank's job to get this right?
That's
We're all in it together, and then Canadian voters are, and you're seeing this in the polling. I referenced this earlier.
Yes.
Have been very frustrated with the Trudeau government, and now you have all of that rhetoric that is coming out of the U.S. Campaign process, and I do wonder, should we be having a conversation around how Canada and Canada's economy is going to fit into possible trade tensions that are growing if Trump returns to the White House?
So the way I would characterize this is Trump certainly talks a lot more than Biden does. But I think it's also fair to say that if you look at Biden's actual policies, like the IRA and what he's done around electric vehicles.
As the Inflation Reduction Act.
Inflation Reduction Act, right.
Yeah.
So by and large, the U.S. economy, U.S. government has been moving away from being more open.
They're more insular.
That's
so
right.
We've seen things during the Biden years that actually have been tough on Canada.
Exactly. So yes, he talks a lot more about it, and I agree with you that Vance's speech last night was the strongest that we've heard, that view being spoken. But it's not a new thing, and it's not something that's going to go away, because as the economy starts to moderate and as you start seeing more automation of jobs, every country is going to have to figure out how to either bring jobs back or create new jobs for people. So again, this is not something that's surprising, but certainly having that kind of speech does create a lot of ripples in the market.
And just out of curiosity, what's your general take on the U.S. economy? I think we have to remind the audience that Canada's economic picture likely would be much worse had the U.S. not been resilient, because that has actually helped our economy to a certain extent.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So the U.S. is still spending at a pretty high fiscal deficit run rate, almost 6%. So that's what's kept them really chugging along at a pretty healthy pace. Next year, we'll see what happens. There are concerns that deficit actually widens out more, which is a good thing for the economy and might actually be okay for the stock market, because earnings will grow. Where the dislocation will come in will be in the bond market. So again, at some point, do bond investors say, if you're going to keep issuing more and more every year, we're uncomfortable. You have to pay us more. So that's where that dislocation could come through.
Lots